Hey everyone, this is smpratte, and today we're going to talk about the 11-minute speedrun bot out that just happened in Japan. In case you missed it, which you might have because it was only 11 minutes long, Pokemon Center Japan released this fantastic product of Eevee Heroes box with a really nice looking Espeon promo, and naturally that just broke the internet. It literally broke the site. Like, the site was so broken. You had so many people in E4 Discord waiting to get on there, refreshing, just to buy one box. And most of them couldn't because it was bought out. It's one of the multiple smpratisms you're going to get in this video. We're going to talk about how unprecedented this is for Japan, what to expect moving forward, and also why this isn't new. Why this is happening. Why is there so much insanity right now in the retail side of Pokemon and collectibles in general. We're going to get into all that good stuff. But in case you missed it, Eevee Heroes is going to be that new exciting set. This is stating the obvious at this point. It's what most people knew from the jump. I remember talking about it in Patreon when I only had the stock image available from the distributors. It was going to be that next Shining Fate, Shining GX. It had that vibe to it. When you have a set that's dedicated to a popular Pokemon, Vivid Voltage, right now Eevee Heroes, it usually does well. Even if it's not executed well, which this one also looks like it's going to be executed well with the addition of, these puzzle cards are kind of in between of people who don't want to play a TCG, but it's something else to do. Also, Eevee's just inherently very tradable when you have all those different variants like Vaporeon, Flareon, Glaceon. It's just a very tradable Pokemon. So it has a lot going for it, and therefore that means a lot of demand. So when Pokemon Center drops this A5 Wagyu beef release of Eevee Heroes with that ridiculous Espeon promo, naturally it's going to break the internet like it did. But what happened with this, it was different, is there were bots now. And bots have always been a part of other markets like sneaker culture. I'm still not convinced that half of the sneaker collectors aren't robots, because it's just bots are everywhere in sneakers, clothing. A lot of mainstream things in the US get bought out immediately, and it's nothing new as far as we're concerned in the Western world, but in Japan, it's really something we haven't seen yet. But of course, this was confirmed in real time. I think within 15 minutes, they posted a screenshot of all the bots went through. And it'll be interesting to see how Pokemon Center handles it, because Japan is a lot different than the US. They are very, very meticulous in how they do business and how they conduct things. So it'll be interesting to see how they react to this, because it is new. It's uncharted territory. But the bottom line is, why this is happening is because of that insane amount of demand. There's so much demand right now, and I think an easy analogy for a lot of people is you have a bunch of people digitally waiting in line. Back in the day, Black Friday, you'd all camp out the night before and miss Thanksgiving with your family because you wanted to save $100 on that TV. That's what you would do back in the mid-2000s physically, where now that's all digital and the lines are never ending. At your local Best Buy, it'd be maybe 50 people. Now it's 50,000 people digitally. So that's what's going on now. It's this digital line of waiting to get in to buy that limited item. And how Japan, so far, what they've said they're going to do is some type of lottery system, which I don't really think that's the solution. I think the solution is adding more supply to meet this insane demand. But they're going to try this lottery solution. In my opinion, I think that's just delaying the inevitable. I think it's just more hoops for the product to go through till it hits the flipper and then resold, because the $100 price is clearly too low. Clearly, people are willing to pay more right now. That would also be interesting to see if Japan changed the price. That would also be an interesting scenario. If they bumped the price a little bit, added quantity, that'd probably balance out the demand. But regardless, that's the current solution, is they are going to try this lottery system. We'll see how it goes. But in my opinion, I think it's just going to delay the inevitable. It's just going to add more of a space between the flippage process. So, it's going to just hit the market at a higher price ultimately, because again, you have tens of thousands of people, even hundreds of thousands of people waiting to buy this product digitally in line. Another smpratism I'm going to bring to you, fresh, brand new, right now, buy or buy. That is the theme right now in post-2020 world. For stuff like this limited item that is very exciting, unique release, it's a buy or buy situation. What I mean by that is you either buy or buy, see you later. That's all you can do right now in this moment. Those are your only options, because the market is just such, not only just a seller's market, you have a huge wave of people that came in 2020. That's the reality that we're in now. It's not just Pokemon. It's not just collectibles. I just got done at a family get together, and my family, their friends, pretty much everybody in that room is buying, selling something now. You know, the whole world, like boomers to zoomers, there's so many people now online. And, you know, collectibles is just one little microcosm of that reality. So at the end of the day, right now, it is just a buy or buy situation. You either just buy it if you want it today, or buy, like, you just don't buy it. Those are really your only options. Now, within the second option, you can see right now how many Espeons I bought. I bought a total of 0. I'm trying to sell you 0. I could not care less right now about the Espeon hype because I'm going to just wait. And that is an option that you always have. Because I've been through this rodeo before so many times with so many different Pokemon, so many different sets, you get to a point where everything is just a vibe and you understand that, yeah, things are hot right now. More power to you. If you were one of those people who snuck in between the bots, you got in there in your nanosecond, you got in, you like, whatever, you dove over the pile of digital Karens and picked up a box and you got it successfully, like, more power to you. But for most people, that didn't happen. And, you know, what I'm going to do, and do whatever you want, I'm just trying to give you an option that being patient does work. And worst case scenarios, the price holds, but at least you know, waiting 6 months, a year, however long, you know that the price is actually holding, at that figure. So let's say this box goes to $500, just pick an arbitrary number. If it sits at that price for a certain amount of time, you know that now at least I have the confidence that this is actually, what people are consistently paying. So no matter how you spin it, patience is always a virtue. There are definitely certain items like the buy or buy situation. When you apply that to very, very rare items, like once in a lifetime things, it's that and nothing else. Like you don't have the option of being patient unless you want to increase your capital. Where with this one, I think you'll probably see some type of stabilization at some point. Now, of course, that stabilization might not be at your perfect dream price, but you'll see that stabilization. I think sometimes buying at a slightly higher price that's stabilized 6 months, 8 months, a year down the road, that's a healthier purchase, if that makes sense, because you're buying it in a proven moment rather than all this chaos. So that's just an idea I want to throw out there because that's something I do personally. Even if I end up paying a little bit more in a stable market, that, in my opinion, is a win. Maybe I'm just doing, some type of emotional pat on the back for myself because I missed it in the beginning. But I think ultimately there is a positive there of like buying in a stable moment. And I think you'll see that. And one other thing I wanted to talk about too is like the boxes themselves, like Eevee Heroes, going off of past performance with Japan, they usually do a very good job of balancing out demand. With Shining V or any really nice set, they do a great job of just giving sellers in the market enough supply to balance it out. They've been doing a couple smaller releases of Shining V behind the scenes, and it's done a great job of just satisfying that demand in a real calm way. It's gradual, it's incremental, they see how much they need, and they don't do the same amount for each set. They're not going to give you as much Shining V, as they would another set that's not doing as well, or vice versa. They give what they need to. So as far as the Eevee Heroes set itself, I would wager that's probably what they're going to do just for the boxes. If you're upset about the boxes, just the actual, booster box, I think that one is definitely going to be a patience is a virtue situation. I think with time, you'll see supply, and it might be that scenario where you just wait and you see, okay, the market proved this price, now I come in at that price. It might be that situation where you pay like $20 more or whatever, just for waiting, but at least you know that like this is what it's going for. And last but not least, I think what this is showing right now for the market is going back to that point about how this just isn't collectibles. It's not just collectibles. Collectibles is a perfect case study because you have limited items. When you have a limitation like with the Pokemon Center release with a very, very nice art, I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who's going to lie to you and say that art doesn't look good. Let's do a little tangent. Modern right now is like in its prime. Like Modern right now is like 86 Gretzky, 90s Michael Jordan. It's like 27 Babe Ruth. Like it's unreal how good Modern is knocking it out of the park. Like even the sets, like I feel bad for Shining Rain or Chilly Rain or whatever it is in Japan, like Silver Lance or whatever the Japanese name is. I feel so bad for sets like that because they're so good. Like those sets would have been phenomenal in the Sun and Moon era, but it's because the bar is so high now. Like you're doing like 200-point seasons or like 90-goal seasons now for all the hockey stats out there. It's unbelievable how good Modern is. So that's why you have this perfect storm. It's because demand has never been greater. People have never had more access than they do now. Buying and selling. There's never been as many buyers and or money in collectibles. So when you add unique and limited to that, that's just perfect storm. That's the perfect storm scenario. And then when you compound like how unique and the art is now for modern, like think about like all the 5-band graphic full arts that have gone for a long time, just focusing on full arts. Look at the diversity in full arts today. Like one of the full arts is done by a Studio Ghibli animator. Another one got done by Komiya, please believe. Please believe I'm all over that one. But the bottom line is there's so much diversity now in just full arts. Like I'm not even talking about the entire sets. Like we're just talking about practice. Like we're not even going into the whole sets, which are even crazier. Like the mixture of art, the mixture of like everything, like every type of style you can think of, the detail, everything is just, it's unreal right now in modern. Modern is just in like God mode right now. So therefore, just emphasizing, this is why it's such a like F5 tornado. You know, this is why it's so crazy, is because not only do you have this explosive market overall since post 2020, but also modern is just killing it right now. So again, that's like the perfect storm and then some. Like it's just, I cannot emphasize how this is the most like perfect storm scenario I've ever experienced in 15 years in any collectible. It's unbelievable. You can look at all the data, like PSAs, another snapshot, like your card savers going from $100 a case to $500 a case. You can look at all the reasons for why we're here. So again, that's probably a repeat for a lot of people, but just wanted to mention it. Like modern is just killing it right now, and that's a huge reason why you're seeing this type of reaction. But there it is. Bots are probably here to stay. That's the unfortunate reality. I don't like when things get botted out, and it is a buy or buy situation, right in the moment. But of course, patience is a virtue. If you wait, again, even if you pay a little bit more, you at least know you bought in a stable market. That's really all you can do right now, because this market is, again, a perfect storm. There's nothing you can do outside of if Pokemon decides to put a little more product out there, which I think they should. But of course, they're the only ones that can do that. We have no control over it. We can do as many rain dances or whatever thing it is that'll get Pokemon's attention. We could all do the open mouths and maybe, I don't know what, like yell at Pokemon as loud as we can and maybe they'll hear us, but it's all on them to, balance it out, which again, with the normal sets, they do a very good job in Japan. So that's what I have for Eevee Heroes. Ultimately, it's a very exciting time. Yes, bots are annoying. Being botted out is frustrating, but, this is an extremely exciting time in collectibles. I would say in online sales in general, online everything. So there you go. Always trying to end it with some optimism. You know the deal. Let me know how I feel. It's pretty much it, guys. Till next time.